This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, May 7th. Please stand for our invocation led by Councilman C.J. Small, District 3, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow our heads, dear Heavenly Father. We thank you for waking us up this morning and starting our day. We thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for letting us see a brand new day, dear Heavenly Father. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask you to please bless our meetings. Please bless our mayor. Please bless the council, dear Heavenly Father. Please bless the city and in this country. Please bless our president. We thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for everything you have done for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I'd ask before we would sit down that we would observe a moment of silence in honor of the life and legacy of sacrifice of Officer McKeithen, a Biloxi patrolman who lost his life due to some senseless violence. And that we pray for the souls and spirits of all officers whose families have had to go through such tragedy. We know how that feels because we've gone through it twice now here in the city of Mobile. So let's pray for those over Biloxi and especially his immediate family. In addition to Officer McKeithen, we also have the loss of Miss Marie Grip, wife of longtime news anchor Bob Grip. She's being memorialized today. Let's keep the Grip family and all of those families who've been impacted by the health of cancer in our prayers. Let's have a moment of silence for both. Thank you.
Roll call, Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Daves. Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory. Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
The rules of the council are as follows. First, we'd ask that you silence or turn off all of your electronic devices. Anybody wishing to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item in which you'd like to speak on before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, we ask that you clearly articulate both your name and your address. Anyone to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact City Clerk's office on the Thursday preceding the Tuesday in which you'd like to speak before 2 p.m. If you don't follow those rules, then you won't be allowed to address the council. We ask that all of your commentary be relevant and pertinent to the city of Mobile. Any person who hadn't given that proper notice or whose subject matter isn't pertinent to the city of Mobile will not be allowed to address the council. All speakers are granted 5 minutes. 5 minutes to make your presentation. At the end of that 4th minute, a bell will sound. That bell indicates that you have exactly 60 seconds to summarize what you're saying. When you hear that bell, that means your seat is calling you. Go on back to your seat. When addressing the council, there's to be no personal address to any individual council member. All of your commentary ought to be directed to myself, who serves as chair. If there is a council person who wishes to be acknowledged and recognized, to express their opinions, they'll be acknowledged. To maintain decorum, we ask that there be no undue applause and or public outcry during the course of this meeting. Those are our rules, and again, thank you for your interest in your municipal government. I'm City Clerk.
Approval of minutes of April 30th.
So moved.
Probably moved to second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 'Opposed?
Communications from the mayor's office.
No communication from the mayor's office.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved second to adopt the agenda. Any discussion? Not all in favor? Aye. I don't know if I'm hearing sufficient ayes.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on May 18th on Foster Lane, May 25th on Scenic Drive, May 18th at the Bragg Mitchell Mansion, May 11th on Black Lawn Street, May 26th at the Bragg Mitchell Mansion, and May 11th at the Bragg Mitchell Mansion.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved to second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Public hearings today is the public hearing to fix costs for securing structures and fix costs for demolition of structures at 2505 Morningside Drive, 668 Carver Street, 606 Cedar Avenue, 358 Gordon Street, 2448 Harrigan Drive, 361 Cherry Street, 572 Westwood Street, 1550 Hillendale Drive, 928 Lincoln Boulevard, 358 Robbins Street, 476 Ridge Road West, 2855 Pages Lane, 558 Reynolds Avenue, 2503 Chastain Avenue, 1159 Texas Street, 7335 Bowers Lane, and 307 Stocking Street.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak on any of these properties referenced by the city clerk during this public hearing process? Again, anyone that would like to speak on any of these addresses, any of the properties referenced by the city clerk? If not, the public hearing closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to council. Amy Rayleigh. Amy Rayleigh.
Good morning. I'm Amy Rayleigh Ryan. I'm the education manager for the Gulf West Maritime Museum. My home address is 8550 Tiffany Drive in Irvington. Thank you for having me, Mr. Chairman and fellow council members, and allowing me to speak to you today. I have some exciting and important announcements concerning some summer events for Gulf Quest. The first is we will be switching to our summer hours on May 25th. Those hours will be slightly different. We'll remain closed on Mondays, but we'll be open Tuesday through Friday until 5 o'clock. We're extending by 1 hour each of those days for the summer. On Saturday and Sunday, we will continue to be open 9 to 5 and then noon to 5 on Sunday. We will be open on Memorial Day, May 2020, and also on Labor Day, September 2nd. I also wanted to let you know that we are a Blue Star Museum, which is something we're very happy about this year. We will continue that from last year. That means from May 18th until Labor Day of 2019, Gulf Quest is offering free admission, family admission to active duty military. This runs from the Armed Forces Day until Labor Day. Also, we're excited to be participating again in Explore Mobile with other local attractions on Sunday, June 2nd. We'll have a booth in Mardi Gras Park, and our admission day will be $5. And the museum will be open from 12 to 5 on that Sunday. We're currently busy working on our 4th of July celebration. We'd like to invite all of you and our community members to come out. It's a family-friendly event that complements the activities that the city hosts that day, their fireworks and their concerts in Cooper River site. Some of the activities that we will be hosting, we'll have a water slide, and the museum, of course, will be open from 2 to 7 on the 4th of July. Our galley will be serving food 2 until 9 p.m. The water slide has a limited access for $5, and the museum admission will also be $5 that day. And you can purchase those tickets on Eventbrite starting now, or you can purchase tickets that day. Other activities, we'll have a flag retirement ceremony. We have a local Boy Scout troop that comes in and they educate the public about the American flag and its history, and they host a flag retirement ceremony. We invite the public to bring any flags that need to be retired properly. And I think last year we had 6, so we're hoping for more this year from the public. And there will be games, crafts, and activities for children of all ages all day long inside and outside of Gulf Quest. Our education department has been busy working on our summer academies for students. We're real excited about those. We have 3 different weeks this summer that we will be offering those academies, and you can get more information on our website and on our Facebook page. And thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Are there any questions?
Now you,
Mr. Williams?
you mentioned galley. Is there a restaurant open at certain times? Could you
Yes,
share
sir.
with us?
We do. We have food catered by Damon's Catering in the galley at the moment, and it will be open on the 4th of July from 2 till 9 p.m. And it's also open during the week.
I have a question.
Mrs. Rich?
Do you have a flyer on these activities that we could run in our bulletins? And if you get it to our secretary, I'm sure we'll be happy to put it in.
Yes, ma'am. I'd be happy to.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? If not, thank you for all the updates.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
Karlinski Adams.
Good morning.
Testing 1, 2.
Yes, sir, it's working.
Good morning to the council and the mayor's office. Kalinsky Adams Opportunity for Entertainers, address 1111 East I-65 Service Road, South, 3207. Today I'm here to address the council about Alabama Hip Hop Week and the MOB Music Fest. First, I would like to say Alabama Hip Hop Week, which is celebrating 12 years of community outreach and networking and building culture and lifestyle from the city of Mobile to the world. This year, Alabama Hip Hop Week will go on tour. Our community outreach we've been doing in Mobile has spread it across the state. So this year, we'll kick it off in Birmingham, Alabama. July 8th, we will be doing community outreach in Birmingham on Monday, July 8th, Huntsville, July 9th, and July 10th, we'll be in Montgomery, Alabama. But when the weekend hit, Thursday, we will be bringing it back home to Mobile, Alabama. We'll be going to parks and recreation states and boys and girls clubs, talking to youth about gun violence, drugs, and et cetera. I think it's important for everybody to understand that Alabama Hip Hop Week is more than just music. It's about community, it's about culture, it's about bringing people together. And this year, being the 12th year, we're taking it to the next level. But once we get into the weekend, MOB Music Fest. MOB Music Fest inaugural year was last year, and we had about 20,000 people in Cathedral Square downtown Mobile. It was an exciting time because it was more than hip hop. It was every genre of music, from rock country to electronic, blues, and it was all about celebrating performing arts. Mobile has a great artist community when it comes to music. It's booming. At this point, we are recognized as the most notable city, not only in the state, but in the country right now when it comes to music. And the community here, from education to having platforms to perform, Opportunity for Entertainers has created a platform for everybody to come together in a unified front and also get a chance to get exposure across the nation. So I come here today to ask for your support. I requested meetings with all city council members. Also, I need to make a request for the mayor's office as well. But MOB Music Fest is about unity. The most important thing is giving people a platform when they don't have a platform. Song artists have went to Atlanta and Chicago and LA, but they don't have to go there anymore. They have platforms right here in Mobile, Alabama. So I came today just to address the council, to bring awareness about MOB Music. Music which is happening July 12th through 14th in Cathedral Square. And I would like to ask for a sit-down with all city council members and also the mayor's office to be a part of this, to make sure that this can be great for the city of Mobile and the rest of the state and the Gulf Coast.
Any questions, Mr. Adams?
Looking forward to a great event.
Well, same here. Thank you for spearheading it. It's been very positive, both from a cultural and musical and economic standpoint. I've had my sit down with him, and I encourage all of my colleagues to do the same. Look forward to enjoying the Music Fest in the heart and soul of District 2, which is the heart and soul of the city of Mobile.
All right.
Thank you very much. Any further questions? Keep up the good work.
I just want to say thank you to everyone, and make sure to find all your information, go to mobmusicfest.com and alabamahiphopweek.com. Thank y'all very much.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
David Preston.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Vice President Manzi. My name is David Preston. I live at 4161 Winchester Drive. And they say that if you don't learn from your history, you are bound to repeat its mistakes. And that is in that spirit that I rise today to kind of give you a little background about me. I started my adult political career running for city council over in Daphne, Alabama, across the bay when I was 19 years old, because I ran on a platform supporting the Jubilee Square Shopping Center public-private partnership, and my opponent did not. I was 19 years old. I trusted the officials that ran the city of Daphne, did not ask too many questions. I got burned as a citizen of the city of Daphne after that, as well as every other citizen of the city. And it is in that spirit that I rise to ask my questions and raise my concerns about the Civic Center public-private partnership that is currently being discussed by the administration, and not because I oppose the public-private partnership or think that anything nefarious is going on, but I learned you ask questions, you ask lots of questions, and you raise your concerns early so that everything is above board. We are told that a citizens advisory committee is close to making a decision on which developer and what project to go with in redeveloping the Civic Center property. Yet we as the citizens of the city and our representatives to our government, the press, can't know who sits on that committee, who appointed those committee members, and what organizations they represent. One of my questions is, are all of the Mardi Gras organizations that use the Civic Center for their Mardi Gras activities represented on the committee? Is there a balance of citizens from across the city, as well as specifically the neighborhood that reside next to the Civic Center, represented on that committee, so that their concerns and their issues can be addressed? Because the center property is public property, and most likely public money will be spent on this project, I ask that the city, that when the administration comes to you, the city council, with their proposal, that you take more than the normal 2-week time period to address all the concerns of the city, hold multiple public meetings, including in your districts, about the Civic Center, to get the input from everybody. And one of the things that that doesn't usually happen in this process, but I would encourage you to make it available to everybody. I would like to know what was in the projects and the proposals that weren't selected, because there may be an idea or two in one or two of the other proposals that weren't selected that are good ideas that can be incorporated into the proposal that was selected, that can make the new Civic Center property more inclusive and better for everybody involved. And so those are really the questions, objections I have, and concerns I have at this point about the Civic Center project, because that's really all that's been discussed in the public so far.
Any questions for Mr. Preston? Statements?
Yes, I can I can say this much is, we know about the same thing that you know. We haven't been given any information regarding your concerns. It has not been furnished to us. As a matter of fact, an official request was made this morning at our pre-council to be furnished that information. We don't know anything about the committee. We don't know anything about their recommendations. We don't know who they are, who they recommended. We are in the exact same position you are in. That is the dark.
Which is why I encouraged y'all as a body to take longer than the 2-week period to consider and get the input.
Mr. Preston, I can guarantee you, it'll take longer than a 2-week period. That building's been up, 60 years? There is no rush. We want to do what we do right. I know I plan on having a series of community meetings to make certain that the decision I make is in line with the temperature of the citizens that I represent, particularly the Church Street East and down the Bay neighborhoods that will be most impacted by whatever is done there at the Civic Center. So I don't find much argument with what you stated. I think we need to be deliberate and make certain that this choice that we make is the right choice for all of our citizens.
I'm going to give the clerk my email address so that you can make sure that I get an invite to those meetings, because I would like to attend as well.
Absolutely no problem. Daphne's Law seems to be our game.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to add,
Ms. Rich?
thank you very much for raising these issues and bringing it to the community attention. I know that my office did write to the mayor to ask who was on the selection excuse me, committee. I had read about that in the paper as well, or in al.com, actually. There was an article. And I did write to the mayor to ask to know, for this council to be aware of who is on the election committee and what its composition is. So
Have we gotten
hopefully
an
we'll
answer to
get
those
some of
letters?
those answers. No,
Okay.
not yet, but hopefully we will.
Yes, sir. Mr. Preston, any further questions or comments for Mr. Preston? If not, thank you, Mr. Preston.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Emily Gonzalez.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I like to come to you guys with a lot of fun things and
All right.
happiness for the city of Mobile.
could use it.
My name's Emily Gonzalez. I'm representing Visit Mobile 1 South Water Street. This week is National Travel Tourism Week. That's so very exciting. It's something that is celebrated not in Mobile, but throughout the United States, formed by the U.S. Travel Coalition. And for all intents and purposes, to translate what National Travel and Tourism Week is, it's sweeps weeks for our industry. A lot of people think of Mobile as a very big industry city, from manufacturing to aerospace to our wonderful port that we all love and appreciate. But tourism is huge in our city. Our big theme this year is Travel Matters, and we know it matters to us. When we look at the conglomeration that makes up travel and tourism in our city, it is twofold. It is both travel and leisure, the vacation type experience that we all love, but it's also a lot of convention and business travel. With that, when we're looking at the industry in Mobile for travel and tourism, it creates 17,000 jobs annually. It's 3.4 million visitors coming to our city and our county. That's enormous. Just in the county, we have $2.9 million in lodging tax. In the city of Mobile, it's $9 million in lodging tax. The average visitor spend, or not the average visitor spend, the total visitor spend for Mobile is $1.2 billion. That is a major industry, and we all need to make sure we are appreciating and supporting this, and I get nothing but that from this entire council. So we're here to say thank you and let you know that we really appreciate it, not just from the Visit Mobile standpoint, but from every person who cleans a room, who sits at a front desk, who takes a ticket, who waits a person in a restaurant. You guys make that happen and help support the industries that do make that happen. These numbers that I just gave you don't come from Visit Mobile. They come from the city, county, and from the state of Alabama. The May numbers representing 2018 from the state will be out this week, and we'll get those to you just as quickly as possible, so know that those are coming. Some of the numbers you recognize, and some we're looking forward to growing again this year. With National and Travel and Tourism Week, Visit Mobile is undergoing a very large PR campaign. We've sent out lots of press releases. We've on our national television networks doing interviews and so forth, and we're also having a very fun social media campaign that will be giving away a staycation to Mobile for our local citizens. So the week's theme of Travel Matters will cover everything from jobs and economy to new experiences to why it's healthy to travel, because you need to get out of your own routine and go experience new things. And my favorite theme of the week will actually fall on Friday, and it's Hometown Pride. We're doing an Instagram campaign to have people take pictures of their favorite things in Mobile, and we'll give away that staycation. In addition to that, we're staying connected. We're going to give away some cruises on Carnival Cruise because they're a major partnership of ours in Mobile, and we love them, and to make sure that someone from Mobile can get on that ship if they haven't already. Also going to be giving away some airline tickets to Denver, Chicago, to our new downtown airport.
All right.
We have a lot of fun things happening. I want to thank you all for allowing us to make sure that that happens. And if you see anything, jump on our Facebook pages and our Instagram pages and share them with your communities so they can all know everything that's going on in our great city. That's it.
Any questions for Ms. Gonzalez? Well, hey, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
guys.
all that
We
Visit
appreciate
Mobile does. Keep up the great work.
Ordinance is held over 63012, to amend Chapter 63 of the Mobile City Code pertaining to rates for record service.
Move to lay over 2 weeks.
Second.
Probably motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes,
Ms.
just
Rich?
briefly, there will be a committee meeting to discuss those amendments. That will be next week on the 14th at 1:30 in the council's conference room, which is on the 9th floor. Again, everyone interested in that ordinance and the amendments, please attend. Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, it's been moved to lay over 2 weeks. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item is laid over 2 weeks.
30018, amend Section 30-13A of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Mobile, Alabama to expand the boundaries of the entertainment districts.
Second.
Probably motion and second. Any discussion? We will be laying this over for 1 week to make certain that all interested parties are aware of the current map, the areas that will be impacted, and they'll have the opportunity to provide their respective leaders any feedback that they want to provide. I'll certainly be putting it on all of my social media and my newsletter so that everyone is aware. But this is progress. This is progress. If there were not vibrancy, if the economy wasn't of a nature where people could invest, then there'd be no need to create this third district. I'm excited to see it expanded along the waterfront. Hopefully that will give some a charm to GovQuest and all the other properties that are in that general area. So this is progress, but we want to make certain that we're transparent at the same time. So it'll be held over another week until next week. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item is laid over.
64020, rezone property located at 4059 Halls Mill Road from B1 to I1.
Second.
Probably motion second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
CF resolutions held over 21412, authorized contract with construction for automatic sliding door and curtain wall replacements, West Regional Library and Mora Branch Library.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moved to second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolutions held over 21414, authorized contract with engineering for Mobile, Alabama Cruise Terminal, new 150-ton mooring bullard, and 37415, approve the application of Wayne McCathan and Michael Martin doing business as Port City Pedicab for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to operate a pedicab service.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion second. Any discussion? Not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Consent resolutions being introduced, 01417 through 60443.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of the resolution 01417 through 60443.
Second.
Properly moved. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
01417, authorized agreement with Crispin Porter and Boguski as agents for Domino's Pizza to receive funds in the amount of $5,000 solely for the purpose of filling potholes. 03418, appoint Stephen McNair to the History Museum of Mobile Board. 08419, purchase orders for requisitions over $7,500 for the week of April 2020. 31420, and 31421 are authorizing the mayor to apply, accept, and receive funding from CSX Transportation Community Service Grant, no local match, and for Stop School Violence Technology and Threat Assessment Solutions for Safer School Grant, no local match. 37422, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license for Vibes Cocktail and Eatery on Azalea Road. 40423 through 44439 are declaring structures public nuisances and ordering them demolished and fixing costs for securing structures and fixing costs for demolition of structures. 58440, assess for removal of weeds, group 1586, 60, 441, 442, and 443 are determining expenditures of discretionary funds for contributions to Mobile Sports Authority, Southwest Mobile County Chamber of Commerce, and Opportunity for Entertainers and Performing Arts serve a public purpose and authorize payment, approval of payment. Okay, that's it.
Yes, ma'am. Is there?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Okay, if not, moved and second. No discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 09444 through 60452.
Michael Bruce said resolutions will lay over for 1 week.
Call for public hearings, 41450 and 41451. Call for public hearing to approve the application of Dalton Vaughn doing business as Modern Limousine for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to operate a limousine service scheduled May 21st. And 41451, call for public hearing to consider the revocation of the business license of TOC1 LLC doing business touch of class on Halls Mill Road for violating the laws and ordinances of the city scheduled May 28th.
Second.
Properly motion second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Announcements.
Mrs. Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
No problem.
Last night, I represented the city at a ribbon cutting for the city's newest Holiday Inn Express. It's located just off Old Shell Road from the University of South Alabama. University of South Alabama officials, development partners, and others were on hand for the ribbon cutting. It is a wonderful amenity for that side of town, and certainly a hotel that has been needed for the university and for the Copeland Cox Tennis Center as well. I understand that during the graduation ceremonies over this past weekend that they were sold out and probably could have sold other rooms if they had the capacity. So it is a wonderful new amenity for that side of town, and we welcome them to West Mobile, at least our portion of West Mobile. Thank you.
Mr. President
Madam
and
City
council, I do apologize. Pass my sheet to Mr. Preston to sign, and I did not call Mr. Hills, and he was signed in to speak. He wants to address your resolution 09444.
All right, Mr. Hill.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
members of the council, to the administration, citizens, and stakeholders of Hill, good morning.
Good morning.
Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. Thank you for that opportunity, Madam City Clerk. And also, before I begin speaking about the 09444, I also want to publicly commend the new senior director for Parks and Recreations. I believe she's probably the most genuine person that I've been able to communicate with out of the administration, and I would love to see some of her input also spread more throughout the administration's approach to the city. I rise today to speak about 09444, and before I do, because I don't see the finance director or the chairman for the finance committee available, who probably would be better able to answer questions. Based on what was provided online, it shows that about 1 million came taxes, 164K approximately came from licenses, and about 85 came from interest and investment income. And I'm just trying to get a clarification. Are these taxpayer incentives that were not seen in the budget prediction or what was presented to the council before, and these are additional revenues that we did not expect to obtain that we did obtain, the 1.6 million?
Administration.
I mean, that's a question to have to refer to the administration to get an accurate and precise.
Well, I mean, the way it's
response.
presented, it says under those items, taxes and the investment income and
Right.
licenses to equal the 1.6
Right.
million. And so that wasn't predicted originally, but it is accessible now, basically.
That's my understanding.
Okay. And as well, the Councilwoman Mr. Six brought this up this morning in reference to it come to the council to be amended. So though it is placed on as an allotment for appropriations, is it still able to come through the council to have a different opinion as to where the resources can be allocated?
Well, I think that's a pertinent question, and it needs to be referred to the administration. The administration is bringing the proposal to us. We have the ability to accept or reject what's on the agenda, and so we've got a week now to get any questions answered, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'd just like to add my input to that based on the knowledge that I have from what was provided and what you've been able to clarify today. I wouldn't want us to pull away from the idea of utilizing those resources. It's just a matter of how I believe they could be most properly used for the citizens of Mobile. If we look at 44% of the proposed budget is going to public safety. 44%. Less than 6% is going to Parks and Recreations. Although I had a great meeting with Parks and Recreations, there are no additional resources that are being provided with the city behind the actual programs to actually put the resources in place to eradicate some of the problems that we're seeing. We look at if you just, and I wish that the chairman of the Finance Committee was here, because that's one thing he always presents. Well, if we want to shift resources from one area, where are we going to come up with the funding to do that? So I went through what was presented, and I know there was a question this morning about how the administration had proposed it, but the administration laid it out extremely clear where these resources were going. I mean, to the T. And so I could see where we could take 22K from the real estate asset, and you would still have a 70+ K revenue stream for that particular portion of the budget. You could take 43,587 from a mechanic to a 90+ budget still, 3K.
Is that the second bill?
No, that's the first.
That's the first bill, okay.
reclaiming my table there. 3K from the 20 plus that would be going to the finance administration, 27K from the support services, and it lines up to where $193,587 would come out of where the public safety and real estate, and they would still have prominent resources, and that can be added to the $4,806,413 that are currently provided for performance contracts, and that can increase to $5 million. $5 million. We will have 193 additional resources to put towards programs that can actually eradicate these problems. Not that people don't deserve these raises, but we already fought for a year to get an increase within public safety, and they have it. So why are we putting an additional 44% of that in the pocket when we need to be getting to the issue at hand? And so I stand behind it. I was one of the only citizens to come out here and request for the raise for public safety, so I'm not going anything against that. But when we have additional resources in place, Mr. Chairman, and if we want to have these problems solved, I think those are the best solutions. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. I think this council has made its position and posture relative to this crystal clear. We had a raise in last year's budget, in this current year's budget, rather. I understand that there's a difference, but it's more money on the check, which is what a raise is. And it's what we advocated for in this current year's budget, particularly for our public service workers. And so I'm happy to see that the mayor and the administration has joined us in wanting to make certain that the workers get raises. This is a pro-raise council, but we want to do it the right way, and that's been our posture as long as I've been on this council. Mr. Thought I heard Mr. Williams.
I started too, you have some wait. Mr. Hill brought up a good point, and it's the first time that it's either been said the way he said it, or the first time I was listening. And either one could have a pretty good probability. I would be interested from the administration in the math, in the formula rather, that we put together for public safety. It was my understanding that was supposed to be self-sustaining. In other words, in my brain, it was implementing a type of COLA formula all the time. And would this not be something that wasn't forecasted when we did that formula? Is it doing a double COLA for police and fire?
So, Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yes, sir.
So it's not a double, but Councilman Williams is correct in that the cost of living was built in for public safety, and that we would continue to move up. But what we're doing, this is across the board cost of living. So what we see now was not projected. The 1.6 million, we're talking about the raise, was not projected as an increase. Understanding that, and I know the council all in this, but for the general public's edification, all budgets are based on projections. The budget is solely based on projections, going out 3 years and looking back in the past 3 years. That being said, these monies were not projected, but it looks like we're doing enough to be able to give a 2.5% cost of living raise to the entire status of employees. So, no, public safety isn't getting an additional bump up. That's not what's happening here. Everybody's getting the additional cost of living. What we built in, and what I think Councilman Williams correctly said, is sustainability, so that we wouldn't have public safety falling behind. This aids in that effort, but it's not in addition to. And if I could, to the extent you're talking about public safety getting 44% or roughly 45% of the funds, there's a mathematical reason for as much, is because, as you all well know, public safety makes up about half of the city employees. And so that's why you see that range there.
Thank you.
All right,
Mr.
thank
Woods, Mr. Williams?
No, thank you.
Mr. Richardson?
Yeah, I was just going to say, before us, a budget, what's before us is a budget amendment. And the council can't instruct the mayor about how to amend his budget. You can. We can't give orders to the mayor. Whatever, he can say, I'm going to take the money from over here. That's his prerogative. And wherever he take it from, he could have taken it from somewhere else. But all we can do is vote. But I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying we can't go tell him where to take it from. No, you can't take it from there. You got to take it from over here. It'd be better for you to take. That's an administrative decision. But when it comes before us, we can vote it up or down. But we can't give any instructions to the mayor about what he ought to be doing.
Any other discussion with council members? All right, Madam Clerk. Announcements. All right, Ms. Gregory.
No, I'm finished.
You already gave yours. Ms. Rich.
I'm just going to repeat again about the committee meeting on the towing ordinance amendments. Again, that will be this coming, a week from today, the 14th, at 1:30 on the 9th floor in the conference room. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson.
Thank you very much. I would just like to announce that I've been on this council going on 23 years, and I have not received a raise since I've been on it. So don't you think I'm getting the money. Not getting 1 cent. But I do favor giving our employees a raise, and I hope to be voting on that. To the citizens in District 1 who lives up Moffett Road on the north side, all the way up to University, we'll be holding a community meeting for you at the Forest Hill Elementary School this Thursday. This Thursday evening, starting at 6 o'clock, for all of the District 1 citizens living up Moffett Road. Asking you to please come out. You know, we had to cancel it because of a storm. So we were able to reschedule that meeting. And we're going to be up at the Forest Hill Elementary School. At all of my community meetings, one of my focus will always be jobs and job training. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to have people from the Walmart distribution center there talking about they need jobs. We're going to have people from Bishopship State there to say that if you need skills for a good job, they will provide the skills. And we have companies and industries in this city that if you take 6 weeks of training, free training, and they're going to specify what training you ought to have, you can end up with a job starting off around $40,000. 6 weeks of training. So I'm going to make all of this information available to the citizens who come to the meeting, and I have people there that you can ask any questions about how to get the training, when would the training start, this, that, and the other. People will be in the house to talk about that. We're going to have people from the Public Safety Division. Hopefully the captain of the 4th Precinct will be there to talk about the crime stats for community and the things that you can do to help get a grip on crime. I would just like to say now that there is not, to my knowledge, a hot spot for crime in District 1. If the police where it won't be hot long, I will focus on that spot. I notify every parent. I will tell them you've been identified as living in a hot spot. Your property value is going down, this, that, and the other. I need your help to get the heat off you. So if they write me telling me about who at the hot, I'm not sending up there with that. It got to go away. We will have to do something about that. I order cameras on every street. I'm not going with that. But we're going to have the captain from the 4th precinct to come to talk about crime. And this coming Saturday, we're going to have Creek Fest. That's got all citizens all over the city to come to Creek Fest. 3 Mile Creek is one of our natural resources, and each year we try to clean the creek out. We have people from all over the city out there helping us to do that. Also in Tricentennial Park, we have Day Lake. Day Lake is the only freestanding lake in the city of Mobile. With all of the water we have, I have the only freestanding lake, Day Lake. So we're gonna have food there. They're gonna be fishing. We're gonna have kayaking, canoeing, music. You come out there, I will predict that we're gonna have easily several thousand people out there. It's a major event. So I'm asking you all to meet us there. It's going to start at 10 o'clock. It's going to end at 2. So between 10 and 2, join us at Day Lake Fall Creek Fest.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson, the holder of the only freestanding lake in the city of Mobile.
Amen.
A freestanding lake.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
not sure what the
Generates its
difference is
own water.
between freestanding and
Mainly
just a
generates
lake.
its own water.
Is what?
It generates its own water. The lake out at Langham Park, that's 3 Mile Creek.
Well, it generates a lot of water. I don't
It's
know.
just under man. That's 3 Mile Creek.
Okay. All right.
Is that freestanding?
Mr. Small, from the great 3rd District.
Thank you, Vice President Mansley. Would like to remind all citizens in District 3, you have any blighted property to please report it to 3111 or 208-5311. I received several phone calls last week where citizens had called me out dealing with blighted properties. The most that the council can do is turn around and report it to 311 for you. And as I went out on last week, there's properties that's, up and down many of our neighborhoods that just have not been reported. And you wonder, why is, certain things are going. If you don't say nothing, if you don't do nothing, nothing's going to happen. So again, you have any blighted properties, overgrown grass, any type of city issue, please dial 311 or 208-5311. You can call the council office, and 9 times out of 10, I'll probably come out. But again, when you call me, I have to turn back around and dial 311 just for you and report it to 311. And if 311 is not working for you, 311 works for the mayor's office. Just dial his number at 208-7800. And again, the buck stops right there for all city issues. I would like to invite every resident in the sound of my voice on this coming Sunday to Cooperstown River Park at 7:30 a.m. We know that this coming Sunday is Mother's Day, and many of us are celebrating many of our mothers, especially the lives. But many times we are, not celebrating the live ones. We are also remembering the ones that has gone on before. So I will be hosting a butterfly release on this coming Sunday at the Cooperside Park, where we will be releasing hundreds of butterflies, and that will be in remembrance of our mothers that have passed away. But again, I do like to wish every mother a happy Mother's Day on this coming Sunday. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Mr. Williams.
Thank you very much. I'd like to echo what my colleague from District 3 has communicated. It is a special weekend, and that's about as good as I can say. It's I hope to be somewhere, not answering the phone, celebrating with my wife and being thankful for my grandmother and mother, and if you could just know that the days every day is counted, and we need to make sure that we spend that time. It does us good, and it certainly does those that we honor much good. Lastly, I'd like to ask everyone, if you have plans or not, this Thursday night, cancel what you have and make this plan, to come and show up to the McGill-Tulane-Baker varsity baseball game. There'll be a doubleheader Thursday night, and it will determine who from our city will represent Mobile in the state championship. This is, in my memory, unprecedented. We have football sometimes playing each other, but it's not that at the very highest level of state athletics, Alabama State athletics, that we have two teams from Mobile with an opportunity to play in the state championship the following weekend. So I have a special interest in it. My son's on that team, and I'll be there. So I'd like for you to be there as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We want to first, everyone has had their announcements. I want to recognize a fellow elected official, Mr. Nick Matranga, our license commissioner. He's continuing the good work. Every time I've engaged with the license commissioner's office, it's been an expedient process, and we certainly appreciate that. Glad to have you here today. A lot of great announcements, a lot of great things happening in the city of Mobile, particularly in District 2. On next week, we'll be voting on that resolution relative to supporting the healthy plan for Alabama. What it boils down to is expanding health care access for as many citizens here in our community as we can. We've had that opportunity for almost a decade now, and we've not availed ourselves of it. And I believe it's certainly important as rural hospitals close, those individuals who are sick will be coming here to our community. There's going to be increased wait times for all of us. And imagine if you lived where my mom or dad grew up, where you're 30 or 40 or 50 minutes from a hospital, and you're having a heart attack or you're having a stroke, you need immediate care. That's the disadvantage that many fellow Alabamians find themselves in because of this particular issue. And it's a 9-to-1 financial proposition. If it were any other subject matter, we would be all over this. Any other. And so I'm hopeful that that resolution will pass. I know we've sent several resolutions to our local delegation, but the only way they're going to know how we feel is to communicate with them. And the formal way we do that is through a resolution, called all day long. But there's impact and power and emphasis when we send something formally from this city to let those who represent the 200,000 citizens here know that we're concerned about health care. We're concerned about violence through guns. We're concerned about taxation and them creating a system that will lessen our tax revenues so we can't give raises to hard-working city employees. So all of it is interconnected. And Montgomery needs to know how we feel on these subject matters. Most every state in this union has already done what we're attempting to do. And they did it back when the government was picking up the entire tab. Thousands of jobs are at stake, but most importantly, hundreds of thousands of lives are at stake. And as one who has had 2 kidney transplants, will ultimately need to have another, I know the value of needing health care. I know it. And so this is important, and I'm hopeful that this will pass next week. Whether it'll have impact or not, we can say we did what we knew was right, similar to the gun situation. And so I'm passionate about it because it's important. I know people who are sick. I know people who are burdened down with bills that they would not have to have if something was done about it here in the state of Alabama. So I'm hopeful that this will move forward because it's important. I want to wish all of our mothers a happy Mother's Day. And I know my mom is somewhere watching. And I want to say, in the words of the Intruders, I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. I'll always love my mama. She brought me in this world. I love you, Ma. Thank God for you. And thank God for all the mothers, past, present, future. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. That concludes my announcements. Any further announcements from the council? Any from the administration? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Probably motion and seconded. We would adjourn. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.